19 minutes for the hour. Joining us now, the co-chair, co-director of the Women's March, Bob Bland, is with us. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hey, Mark. How you doing? Thank you so much for having us on the show.
I saw what you were posting on social media, and I had to do it. You all were at the hearing yesterday, and I think there's another young lady on the phone with you that you're going to introduce to us, and we're going to hear from her about her experience yesterday. So please, you take over.
All right. Well, yeah, and we're back at the hearing. We're standing online, ready to do it all over again today. But yesterday was a special day in civic participation for my mother, Diana Bland, who is a veteran public school teacher. She's 75 years old. She has spent over 40 years canvassing and phone banking for elected officials and volunteering on weekends tirelessly, but she had never stepped foot into a hearing. So, this is something where the activism that we do in the Women's March, bringing everyday people to the hearing, is an essential part of the process for us in helping people to learn why civil disobedience and why actually holding elected officials accountable to their faces and in person is so important. And so I was so happy that my mother joined me yesterday for what became her first arrest.
Mom, are you there?
I sure am. This is Diana Bland.
Hi, so nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm fine today, thank you. Yesterday was a very challenging day.
It sounds like it. So this was the first time you committed civil disobedience?
That's correct.
Wow. Why now, Mom? What made you want to do this at this hour?
Well, it's just that since the 1970s and that we have been fighting these very, very same issues. And when someone says, well, we're going to give you a judge who's going to be around for the next 40 years or something, and he's going to make decisions about women. He's a man, and he's going to make decisions about women's bodies, and he's going to tell them what they can and can't do with them. And we just thought that we had finally gotten some rights back in the day, and now they decided that those rights have to go, because I don't know why they think the women are any different now than they were then, but they do. And the whole thing about the hearing was that you are not going to have a voice. Even the people on the committee were told, you're not going to have a voice because the chairman is in charge here. And if you have a question or anything else, you're not going to get to ask it, and we are not going to change any arrangement that we have here. The room was very tiny, and we were ushered in. We were told that you will not say anything, you will not do anything. You go in and you sit in a chair. You will have 10 to 15 minutes in there, and it was practically you're lucky you're getting this chance.
Yeah.
And I figure after all these years trying to contribute to our government, that this very important decision is being made in such a situation. The room itself was so small that you could get in trouble for coughing. And so anyway, I just felt like this is not right. Why are we doing things this way? Why are we not having a big open hearing where hundreds of people can come in, and where there's some method of allowing them to have a civil discussion that people can take part in? And so it was just, for me, it was a big awakening. And, of course, when people had things to say, they interrupted, because that was the only way they were ever going to be heard, or even their thoughts were going to be heard. So people did interrupt, and then they were immediately taken out. And So our time there, we did hear some speakers and we heard some questions, but no answers.
Yeah.
And we just weren't expecting that situation at all.
Well, I'm very, very proud of your courage, Mrs. Bland.
Thank you.
So did your daughter go to jail with you, or just you?
Oh no, she went with me.
So y'all went together. So this is a
yes, we went together.
incarcerated for the first time, huh, Bob?
Yeah, and I gotta say that that warehouse on K Street that I've been jailed in so many times, it's really like a church to me at this point. That's where we do our best organizing with people like Linda Sarsour and Jennifer Epps Addison, and so many of the best organizers that I know were in that warehouse yesterday after disrupting the hearing. And, that's where we get to know each other without cell phones or without any distractions. For people like my mother, who it was her first time, she really struggled because none of us had eaten since the day before. And they, even though she had low blood sugar, they refused to give her any respite. And we were there for 5 hours. So, like my mother said, I remember for myself, the first, and this was an easy arrest. The Capitol Police is a very easy arrest compared to what everyday folks in so many cities around America confront for doing nothing, for having a taillight out or just going outside their door, And so that's something that we also kept reminding each other is, what a place of privilege it is to even be able to take the time off work to be at a hearing like this. And that's how they design these hearings, so that, the folks who are the most directly impacted are the ones that can't even make it there for the hearing.
Right.
Why don't they have these hearings on weekends? Why don't they have a big public forum at night? They do it so that everyday working folks can't make it.
Yeah.
And so, that was something that was an awakening for me 18 months ago when I started working on the Women's March, and then for my mom yesterday. And what we're hoping is that people like my mom go back into her very privileged community, very insular community, and share with her friends, like, hey, let's go get arrested. We got to hold these people accountable.
Indeed. No, that's what we got to do. I'm very thankful for you both. Now, Bob, you said you all are in line this morning to go back into the hearing, right?
That's right. And we will not stop till these hearings done.
So let me just ask you this. Even though you all were arrested yesterday, they're going to still allow you back in the hearing room?
Yeah, we changed clothes, do our hair different,
Okay, I got you. Well, I know that's what they're supposed to do. They really can't keep you out if you're in line. They're supposed to let you in. They can't.
Yeah, they were definitely profiling yesterday. So what we saw is that, as I mentioned, like Linda Sarsour, she was the first person to speak up in the hearing. She's like 120 pounds wet,
Yeah.
And they tackled her with 4 different policemen. And it's like, this stuff is unnecessary. It's cruel. And it was definitely profiling, because when we walked in, I remember one of the staffers said, well, I saw at least 10 that I know we're going to have to take out of that hearing. And it's like, how could you know that? How could you know that if we're all just walking in single file in business suits, So I think that this is a very flawed process, to say the least. And, Brett Kavanaugh is a white supremacist, just like Trump wants him to be. And that he's going to take away so many rights, because what we try to say is that women's rights, it's not just relegated to equal pay and reproductive rights. Women are immigrants. Women are disabled. Women are indigenous. Women are black. Women are poor. Women are public school teachers like my mom, and they need a union. Women are a lot of things. Women need to be able to love who they love, and all of those things are at risk. Voting rights, like what you were just discussing on the last segment, are absolutely on the chopping block with Kavanaugh. And the Republicans are counting on Americans not paying attention to this hearing, because the truth is the ripple effect is what we'll only see later. And most folks can only focus on what's immediately happening in front of them and the problems that are immediately happening. So, I'm really grateful for everyone who has either taken time off of work or traveled to be here if they can, and then certainly anyone in the district or Virginia or the Maryland area who is coming in, whether it be on their lunch hour or after work, to hold these people accountable. And certainly everybody has the opportunity to go to cancelkavanaugh.com and take action. We have a letter writing campaign. You can write letters to both of your senators, and the system we have, they will read it, and it will be counted. And then you can also just call the congressional switchboard. And even if you're not in town at all, I make it a practice to call my senators every week, even though, I'm busy, like we all have things going on in our lives. But if we don't take the time to participate and show them that we care and we dissent and we do not believe, like Kavanaugh is an extremist, and they're taking advantage of this whole trope of like just average, nice white guy to try to say, like they kept on putting his daughters out in front of it. It was actually gross to see what they did at the beginning, where they took his wife and his children and used them as props.
Thank you. I'm glad you.
Prop up this image of him.
Well, and then in his opening statement, he's calling out all the names of all the little girls on the basketball team. All of that was theater and props.
Cousin? It was like,
and his cousin.
I don't give a damn.
Right. And
I want to hear about how are you going to judge?
Yeah.
And honestly, it reminds me a lot of what we see in gun violence, where it's like, I don't care what the hobbies were of the guy who massacred 500 people in Las Vegas.
Right.
I don't care. He is a white terrorist, and he's got to go down.
Yeah.
And we got to stop this gun. And that's another issue, that gun safety and getting guns out of people's houses, out of people's streets, is a major issue. And had you already been
arrested? Were you in the room when the father of the Parkland victim went up to try to shake his hand?
I was not in the room at that time, but those images speak for themselves. They are damning.
Yeah, no, they are. And then you mentioned him being white supremacist. I guess you've also seen the 3%. Those of you watching on our stream, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, make it plain, and on Instagram, Minister with 2 T's. Andrew, am I doing this right? Yeah. So it's kind of an upside down OK sign.
You got to do it lower though.
You got to do it lower. Well, I'm trying to do it so people can see it on the thing. But that's what's kind of an upside. But I've seen some people doing it right up OK. The 3 fingers, 3% white power. Zena Bash was doing it sitting right behind him. Then then they went.
She was. We've seen Stephen Miller. Who might as well call him President Miller. He's the one who's running all the legislation right now.
Right, and then they got rid of. Yeah. They moved Zena Bash out and brought in Condoleezza Rice. We got to get ready to go. But Mom, are you gonna go? Are you gonna commit civil disobedience again today? Perhaps.
Well, I can't do it today, but I am going to as soon as I can.
All right, you're wonderful.
I told the officer I'd be back.
I like your mom, Bob.
I love her. I'm so proud.
She's wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, and I really enjoyed talking with you.
Well, it's so good to hear your voice. Appreciate your strength, Mom, and let's stay in touch, okay? I noticed all the women that were dressed in the Handmaid's Tale costumes. It was great. Proud of you both.
Yeah,
Continue.
The last thing we want them all to know is that we will not go back.
Cancel.
We will do whatever it takes.
CancelKavanaugh.com. CancelKavanaugh.com. Love you both, okay?
Thank you very much.
Y'all give each other a big hug and a kiss for me, okay?
You got it.
That's for me. All right. Love you both. All right, folks. That's it for this morning. Amazing. If all minds are clear. CancelKavanaugh.com, too, by the way, folks. Congratulations to Ayanna Pressley. We haven't gotten to the Bob Woodward book. We'll get into that as well. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain.